PROPLAN is a project planning and network scheduling software. So let's see how many work stages are in PROPLAN. So first work stage is definition of project user and settings. So in this stage, we can create various OBS, organization background structure, APS, project description, then creation of project plan, scheduling, user setting, calendar setting, and various miscellaneous settings. Next is determination of activities. So we can determine various activities which we have to be mentioned in project. So we can analyze the project scope, stakeholders, requirements to determine the WBS activities, quantities, and the milestones. Next is a determination of activity scope and duration. So we can determine the activity scope, how many scope their UMs need to complete the activities, and based on the scope, we can define their durations also. Based on the duration, start date and finish date will be automatically come, or you can manually select it. The next is determine of activities dependencies. Here we can define various relationship dependencies of the project activities, that is finish to start, start to start, start to finish, and finish to finish. Next is a determination of resources. So in this determination of resources stage, we can define various manpowers, materials, machineries, consumables, extra expenditures, cost can be defined. So based on the defined resources, we are calculating estimated cost of that project. The next is analysis. In analysis, we can analyze the various critical activities. We can generate the reports of various critical activities. We can send the list of various critical activities to email address, so that is available. And next is a monitoring and control. In monitoring and control, we can monitor the baselines, the resources, the percentage progress. We can uh, analyze the forecast efficiency of the particular activity and overall project. So that's it for workflow stages, and that is available in PROPLAN. So let me elaborate some features. So here it is some features we have. Suppose we have two different plans, and how to analyze the changes. So here it is a feature. Plan comparison is one of interesting feature available in PROPLAN. So in this feature, we can compare our current plan with the existing plan. So we can upload existing plan X year or new plan X year, and then we can compare that plan. So here is some column available: activity ID, activity comparison column, and which comparison column changes are found, and then old changes and new changes. So this is comparison feature, and this comparison report will be available in Excel and PDF, and here it is a PDF copy of that Excel. So here it is. PDF report is come with a plan name, compare file name, then comparison date, and their comparison parameters. So activity ID, activity comparison column, old and new changes will be appeared in this report. Next is a resource. Resources, how many resources can be defined. So here it is a resource allocation feature. In the resource allocation, we can create a master of that particular resource or gang. We can create this gang in a global level, and that global level resources gangs we can use for resource allocation to particular activity. So here it is, some gangs are already defined, and to define the gang, we are allocating manpower. During the manpower allocation, we can put per day working hour. So here it is per day working hour, it is 8, and can be defined here, and we can mention the target of that particular gang. What is the strategy of that gang? So here it is 30 target is defined. It can be it could be 30 cubic meter for civil, or 30 inch for fabrication gang. So here some manpowers also defined, where worker types: welder, fitter, grinder, gas cutter, rigger, and helper. And in this gang, main worker is defined as a welder. So here it is check main welder as a worker as a welder, And manpower factor are a number of personalities. So here it is one vendor, one fitter, one grinder, gas cutter will be work half day, and a rigger, helper, and three riggers and helper are two. So that is a manpower factor and a rate unit. So here in the rate unit we have three parameters: per day, per unit, and per hour. So currently we have selected per day, and we can define it as a work per hour and per unit also. So based on a per day, there are some cost of that particular worker type also mentioned here. Welder's cost is 1200, fitter cost is 1200, grinder cost is 800, gas cutter cost is 1000, rigger cost is 1000, and helper is 400. So like this we can define the cost of that particular worker, and based on this we are calculating estimated quantity needed for that manpower and their costings also. In same way we can define machineries, expenses, and consumables. So we'll see this part later. And this is a SCOW progress. So here are some SCOW columns and cumulative schedule and actual format is given. So here we have mentioned schedule, a monthly schedule as a blue column, and a monthly actual progress as a green color, and a monthly cumulative schedule line mentioned as a blue color, and cumulative actual column as mentioned as a green color. So here it is, legends are also available: cumulative schedule, cumulative actual, daily program, daily actual. It can be a monthly when we customize chart as a monthly or fortnightly. So based on that parameters are also changed, and we can find that changes in this curve. We have three forecast also. So forecast 1, forecast 2, and forecast 3. So forecast 1 is as per current actual progress rate, means if we keep continue our previous and current progress rate, then when that concern activity will be finished. Forecast 2 means as per plan progress rate, means if we proceed with the standard escape progress, then when concern activity will be finished. Then third is as per improve efficiency, means if we increase the efficiency of that particular activity, then when we can complete or finish that activity. So that's it for forecast. So three forecasts are available. Forecast 1 is in chocolate color, forecast 2 is in a red color, and forecast 3 is a pink color. And this report can be downloaded in PDF format also. So next feature is resource combined resource estimation report. So this report can be download for particular activity or overall project also. So here it is downloaded for RCC substructure activity, and their scope is mentioned top of the table. And here it is table. Four tables are available: manpower, machineries, materials, and expenses. As we see in resource allocation, we can assign the various worker types, that is a mason, carpenter, carpenter, skilled worker, and their per day capacity is needed is the per day capacity is a 3, means that particular gang can be complete, that particular person can be complete 3 cubic meter scope per day. So their rates are also here, and the cost is also calculated based on the numbers. The 33 numbers of masons are needed for completing this activity during overall activity period, overall working period of activity, and their cost is also mentioned here. So same way machineries, materials, and expenses are calculated. So here it is, the three tables are available below the manpower, material, machines, materials, expenses, and total cost is also calculated at the bottom of the report. So this report can be downloaded for overall activity and overall project also. So next feature is critical path calculation. Critical path calculation is work on CPA, critical path analysis methodology. We have considering the critical activities as the for the activities float are zero or negative, and the critical path also calculated based on this. And the critical path and critical activities can be filtered, and it is mentioned in red color. Generally scheduled non-critical activities are highlighted with a light green color. So here are some gray red color activities are critical and their path is visible, and it can be downloaded in a PDF format. Next is analysis. Using the feature, we can filter activities between the date range. So here it is date range, project start date, project end date, and between the date range, we can filter the various critical activities, and between that particular duration, what are the lowest float available. That value is also available at the top of the analysis, and we can filter out that critical activities. So next is the delayed critical activities. We can filter various delayed critical activities for which float is minus, and we can send that delayed critical activities to various personalities on email address. So these are filter out delayed critical activities, and it can be sent to various persons by keeping us to CC, and we can define the subject and description of that email address. So here are some subject are mentioned, critical activities list, and description is also mentioned, and this email will be sent by directly to the system. So no need to generate any report. It will be sent to various persons directly from PROPLAN. So these are the interfaces are integrated thus interfaces, and for PROPLAN we are using these two interfaces. So we have integrated our PROPLAN with the Oracle Primavera and MSP project, which is Microsoft project. So we are efficient automation partner, and we believe planning without action is fatal, and action without planning is a fatal. Next is a user-friendly interface. We have provided one user-friendly interface where we are differentiating various WBS with attractive colors. Here it is some colors are defined for top level, which is a EPC project is highlighted with a green color. The second level is highlighted with a yellow color, and their sub levels are also highlighted with various colors. So this type of infrastructure which we have using in PROPLAN, and it can be customized whenever required as per user settings. And this is a Gantt chart visuals, generally is connected with the finish to start, and this is a activity which is a not non-critical activities shaded with a green color, and it can be downloaded in PDF also. So to launch a ProPlan, we are generally use a PGold admin. So after clicking on a ProPlan from PGold admin, we are directly reached to project selection here. So we are going to select one project, PGold project, and after launching the project, here is some baseline settings and plan details tabs are available. So before moving forward, we will see how many settings are available in ProPlan. So I'm going to click in setting, and here we can see these are the settings. That is a calendar setting, activity ID setting, machine diff master, material master, expense master, worker type master, gang definition means a team creation, WBS level setting, window shade setting, column setting. So that settings are available, and we'll see one by one. So here it is column setting first, and in column setting we can define various annual holidays for the plan or project, which is depend on a location. So we can define various holidays by mentioning the name of the holiday and date of the holiday, and we can define weekly of an annual of for the project. So based on that inputs, we are escaping the scheduling dates from that day. So next is a activity ID setting. So in activity ID setting, we can mention start number of that activity, that is mentioned as a 0, then incremental by. So we can set it a 1 2. So currently we have entered it a 1, and we can define a prefix of that activity. So here it is activity ACT, and delimiter also can be defined. So that is for activity setting. And next is a machine master. In machine master, we can define various machines. That is a machine code, machine name, short description, and action. So these are the columns are available in machine master. We can define various machine. Here are some machines are so excavator, JCB, concrete pump, hydra. These are the various machines are defined for allocation of gang. So this is for a machine master, and these are the various machines: gas cutter, hydraulic rig, and many more. Next is a materials. In materials, we can define various materials which is to be needed in a project planning. So here are some materials are defined. So here it is some electrode, CS, SS, all alloys, cement, concrete, pump, and their machine code. Material code, material name, short description of that particular material, description of material, and you also defined here. Next is expense master. In expense master, we can define various expenses which can be affect on a project schedule or project activities that can be entered here to estimate cost. So here are some expenses are defined. That is DG generator set, electricity charges, machine installation charges, service charges, and so on. Next is a worker type master. In worker type master, we can define various persons, various worker types which can be needed for project planning. So here are some resources: manpower, welder, mason, welder, helper, grinder, engineer, chicken, and their skill proficiency is also defined here. So if this resource is skilled or not skilled. So here are some skilled skilled manpower is also available, and non-skilled manpower is also available. So here it is unskilled persons are defined. So this is in worker types. Next is a gang or team creation. We can create a team or a gang in manpower type, and we can allocate machineries, expenses, and consumables for that particular gang. So here we are going to see the gang for civil structure, and here we have selected PCC substructure, and we can change it also. So here we are selecting materials, and this is a crew one gang for mechanical. And for mechanical and piping, this is a piping shop fabrication gang. So here is some gangs are already created, which can we can define a discipline as per our need, the gang for our as per our need. So we can define the names of that particular discipline and gangs. And in the worker type column, we can select, we can add any row by clicking plus button, and we can add any row, and we can define the worker types which we have defined in worker type master. We can select here, we can define a main worker if he is a main worker. So we can check the fitter or grinder is a main worker. Then we can define manpower factor, number of worker types, and their rate per unit, the rate per worker, and after clicking on a save button, this gang will be saved. So same way we can define materials, expenses, consumables. Next, WBS level setting. Here it is a definition of WBS color, so which we have seen in PPT presentation. So here it is in first level, yellow color is defined. In second level, light green color is defined. Based on this, we can define various WBS color and font size for the particular WBS. So this is for a WBS level setting. And next is a window set setting. In window set setting, we can define the date or timelines which can be affect on a progress of the particular plan, or a slack period of the any season. So here it is slack period mentioned, that is a pandemic and monsoon period is a repetitive, every year monsoon period is coming. So that's why we have defined it is repeating. So start date and end date also mentioned here, and their repeatability can be considered in this window shade setting. This window shade will be highlighted with a gray color on a plan. Next is a column setting. In column setting, various columns available in the system will be appeared here, and we can change the header of that particular column as per our need. we can change the width of columns, we can define if it is editable, visible, their readability, then a sequencing column of that particular columns can be done here. So these are the setting in the PROPLAN, and we are going to see one plan. We have selected the project plan, and this plan is open, and this is the standard architecture of that particular plan. So here are some plans, activities are defined, and some activities are also already completed. And we are going to see first some columns are available in PROPLAN. So here it is, first column is WBS label, then WBS activity ID, WBS activity name, WBS activity code, baseline start, baseline finish, start started or not. So here we can define if start is started, so we can say yes, and if it is not started, it is by default no. Then if the task started, we can select a start date in second column. Then if it is finished, we can say yes, and we can mention the finish date. Then we can define durations, and remaining durations will be automatically calculated. We can define as various predecessors for these selected activities. The predecessors and successors are not allocated, so that's why these columns are currently blank. Then ES, EF, early start, early finish, late start, late finish dates are calculating. Free float is also calculating after scheduling this plan. The next is a total float. Total float is also calculating parameter. In scope, we can define the various scope. So we are using a quantity based scheduling, and without quantity based scheduling, we can directly put a progress percentage of that for that particular activity also. So there are two ways to complete the activities. We can define the directly percentage, or we can enter the completion of that scope or quantity based scheduling. So we are defining here quantity, that is a scope, and if the scope is revised, we can enter the revised value in the revised scope, and we can define UOM, cubic meter, CUM. And next is a manpower unit. So how many man-hour required to complete that particular scope, that is calculated based on a resource allocated for that particular activity. That is calculated as 46.67 currently. And then the revised man-hour, if the man-hours revised, then revised man-hours will be calculated. And then scope difference in percentage is changed. If the scope is changed, their difference will be calculated in percentage. Then original weightage, revised weightage, original weightage in percentage, revised weightage in percentage, that's are calculating parameters. That is based on the weightages calculated as per scope entering in the particular activity. Then plan progress and plan progress in percentage. Then plan man hour, these columns are calculated based on the current data date. So if the what is a current data date, and what is a schedule quantity as per standard SCO, that on that basics, on this technique, we are calculating plan progress in percentage, and plan man hour. Then plan weightage is also calculated, and plan weightage in percentage also calculated based on the scope. Actual progress column is also available here. In actual progress per column, we can enter how many scope is completed, how many actual quantities completed against the scope, that we can enter in actual progress percentage. There is one pop-up is open, where we can define the day wise how many quantities completed, and how many manpower consumed for completion of that activity. And based on the input, we are calculating actual progress percentage here. So here it is actual progress percentage 94.76. So against the 23 scope, 21.80 is scope is completed, and 94.78 percentage progress is completed currently. And actual man hour, so 886 man hours are consumed to complete that activity. That is calculated in this actual man hour. Then actual weightage and actual weightage in completed. So how many weightage are reached during the completion, that is calculated in these two columns. and improve efficiency. In this column, by default value is 1. If you want to increase the efficiency of that particular activity, so you can enter 1.2 for increase by 20%, 1.3 for increase in 30%. So this way we can improve the efficiency to schedule to create a forecast 3. And there are some resources are also available. Here are some resources, allocated resources are also available: worker type, machine type, material type, expense type, worker cost, machine cost, material cost, expense cost, and total cost. Based on the resources allocated to that particular activity, the total cost is a roll up at the top level. So these are the columns are available in PROPLAN. We are going to center align it, and now see these are the activities are available. So the generally activities are highlighted with the green color, and actual progress is highlighted with the dark green color, and connectivity is shown with black border. So here are some critical activities are highlighted with the red color, and it can be downloaded in PDF format. Let's see how to assign the resources. So we are going to right click on that activity, and here are some resources allocation, predecessors and successor allocation, and status is also available. So in status we can see the activity id, activity details, activity id, activity code, activity name, uom that of that activity, man hour per unit. These are calculated based on the resource allocated. So in duration, we can see this original duration, actual, remaining, at complete, total float. So this calculator parameters are automatically coming here for a summary and status. And the started, if the activity started, the checkbox will be check, and if finished, the checkbox will be check. In next tab, we can see these is the resources which we have seen in previous gang creation tab. Same infrastructure available here. So where we can see the activity id, activity name, per day working hour. So here it is per day working hour 8 for the particular gang. Um is a fetch from activity, the average production. So 3 cubic meter average production is required. Manpower hour unit is calculated. Worker type, main worker is not. Then all the details are coming from global master, and we can change the resource required to complete the activities anytime, depend on our requirement, and we can assign the resources in this tab. So next tab is a predecessors and successor. There it is not predecessors and successor allocated for that activity. We'll see for another activity. Here is for critical activity, some predecessors and successors are already allocated, and here it is the details. So here it is details of predecessors and successors. Next is a resource estimation report. So we'll see how to generate resource estimation report, and what details will be available in the resource estimation report. To create a resource estimation report, we have to right click on the particular activity. So we are going to choose the first activity where we can right click on that activity and click on a estimation, and this report is generated for individual activity, and it can be generated for overall project. So here this report can be downloaded in PDF format. So we'll see what which type of PDF format is generated. So reports is opening, and it is opened. So we'll see which PDF is available. All the details of which we have seen in that software screen, it will be reflected in PDF format. So this is for individual activity, and this will be available for overall project. So to create a resource estimation report for overall project, we have to right click on that particular WBS, top WBS, and click on estimation. So the overall estimation report is also downloaded, and we are going to open that PDF. So this 52 page PDF is generated, and it comes with all activities details. So this is a very huge PDF generated, and all the details of that activities are extracted. So let's see some SCOWs. So we are going to see the standard SCOW. This is a standard SCOW. Blue columns are highlighted with the daily program. Green colors are highlighted with the daily actual, and cumulative schedule and cumulative actual. Cumulative schedule highlighted with the blue line, and cumulative actual is highlighted with the green line. So this is a standard SCOW used for scheduling, and we can filter the colors to analytical purpose, and we can generate this report in a PDF format. So we are going to see the forecast 1, 2, 3. Currently we are going to see two forecast 1 and 2. uh, Before forecasting, we have to schedule our plan. So here we are going to schedule our plan as per plan date, and we are going to see this current data date is selected 30 September 2021. So we are going to change it. We are going to select 14 October 2021, and this plan is scheduled. And let's see the forecast days. So here we are going to choose the forecast 1 and forecast 2, and let's see, these are the forecast. So forecast 1 and forecast 2 is generated, and forecast 1 means if we keep continuous previous and current progress rate, then when we can complete constant activity. And forecast 2 means if we proceed with the standard as curve progress, then when we can complete our constant activity. So this is a forecast 1 and forecast 2. Let's see forecast 3. To see the forecast 3, we have to increase our efficiency. So we are entering 1.20 1.30 to increase the efficiency by 30%. And let's see how to generate forecast 3. So how is looking it? We are going to select a standard chart, and this is a forecast 3 value selected, and this forecast 3 is also generated. So if we increase our efficiency by 30%, then when we can finish our activity. So here it is, date is come 21 October 2021. So like this we can analyze our plan with this kind of forecast pictures. So let's see some estimation reports for daily, weekly, and monthly. To generate a daily, weekly, and monthly estimation report, we have to right click on that activity and generate a daily, weekly, and monthly values. So here we are generating some reports, daily, weekly, and monthly, and we'll see one by one. First, we will see a daily report, and we are going to click in manpower. So this daily report is generated, and the day-wise distribution of that activities come here. So in column 1, first date is shown, and in column 2, program and plan and program quantity or distribution is shown here. Plan means as per standard ASCA formula, the expected progress is shown, and in program, previous date, outstanding quantity and outstanding progress will be shown in program. So this is statistical calculations available for for the 39/2021. The expected progress is 0.49, and daily quantity is 0.46 against the scope. Means out of 130 0.64 quantity is expected to complete. And based on the progress, number of number of manpower is also shown here. So based on the resources allocated, so some resources are already allocated for that particular activity: mason, carpenter, barbender, unskilled employees. So based on this, the worker distribution, their necessity will be available in this report. And for weekly and monthly report, that calculation will be roll up. So we are going to open weekly, and here it is weekly calculation available for weekly fifth week of September to fifth week of October. Calculation or report is available in the look-ahead report will be available in the Excel format. Next is a monthly estimation report. So based on the daily and weekly, that same values program and plan and program values will be rolled up in a monthly format in a look-ahead report. So these are the look-ahead report and it will be available in Excel. Next are critical activities. So we can filter the critical activities between the date range, and we can filter the various critical activities for the overall project. So here it is critical activities and critical path is filter for overall project. So here some critical activities, their float is also mentioned. And next in analysis, the critical activities can be filtered in the between the ranges. So a date range is by default selected by project date, and it will be available in float value. So lowest float value is also shown here. Next is a delay. So delayed critical activities can be sent in email address. We are considering the delayed critical activities for which float is negative, and such delayed activities can be sent directly over mail from the system. So here two CC and subject is mentioned. We can enter the any email person email address into. We can enter the description of that particular, customize the description of a particular mail, and we can mention the subject and send to email address. So we have mentioned some details here, and this email will be sent to your email address. So here it is. This is a email structure. Some filtration features are also available in ProPlan. So we will see how to filter various activities in ProPlan. So to after clicking on the filters, we can filter the activities by ID, activity code, activity name, their float. We can enter the any value in this field, suppose -1, -2, and then we can filter. We can filter the completed activities, critical activities, in progress activities, milestones. We can filter milestones also. Then negative float, non-critical, non-started activities we can filter. So currently we are going to filter critical activities to we have to check that critical activity checkbox, and we are going to filter it. So here it is, some critical activities are filtered and we can download it in Excel format. So this Excel is currently downloaded, and these are the 9 activities are shown in a system. This report is also can be downloaded in PDF format. So we are going to generate this report, and this is a PDF format of that activity. So we can extract it in Excel and PDF format. Let's see plan comparison feature to compare two different plans, difference between two different plan. We can compare that plan. So we have selected one plan, that project plan, and we are going to compare it. So this is a filtered feature are also available. Activity ID, activity comparison column, on which column the changes are found. Then old parameter and new parameters are also shown here. So these reports are available in PDFs and Excel format, and we are going to generate on Excel format here. So report is downloaded, and this Excel format is available. Next part is a ProPlan network data. So ProPlan network data and downloaded Excel. We are going to currently download overall data of the plan in Excel. So directly without doing any selection, we are downloading the Excel, and the Excel is downloaded. So all project data is available in Excel. We can all see the all the columns which are similar as a ProPlan columns will be downloaded in Excel. For reporting purpose, we can customize this Excel. So also we can transfer our PROPLAN progress to other networking system. So for that purpose, we are provided PROPLAN network data sheet. We can download this sheet by selecting PROPLAN network data. We are checking this radio button and just click on a download button. And this kind of Excel is generated. So here are some columns are extracted: base start, base finish, actual start, actual finish, schedule start, schedule finish, and many more. So this way we can generate. So by this way we can transfer our PROPLAN progress to other networking system. So let's see some highlights of PROPLAN. These are the highlights where we can create OBS, EPS, WBS. Then we can define activities, resources, and their breakup, and we can generate cost and resource breakup reports. Then we can generate a forecast trend, or various forecast trends are available. There is forecast 1, 2, 3, and we can download it to in a PDF. Then the resource forecast look ahead reports are also downloaded. That is a daily, weekly, and a monthly look ahead reports which can be downloaded through the system. Then compatible with the XCR and MPP file, and we can upload that XCR and MPP file to the ProPlan, and we can see and customize the plan which we have extracted with XCR and MPP from other planning software. Then we can define various predecessors and successors, and we can define their duration in the ProPlan. Then we can define various dependencies like finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, and start to finish. Then we can define scheduling and resource leveling we can do in ProPlan. Then SCOP visuals, which we have seen, SCOP visuals that could be downloaded in PDFs. Then critical paths also sent to the email address and downloaded in PDF format. Then critical activities, which we have seen in the recent slide, we can download a progress trend, uh, red alerts comparison, existing plan with the current plan, that is also available. So these are the highlights of the ProPlan, and star mark features will be available very soon. In other networking system, activity based scheduling tools are used, and in ProPlan, activity as well as quantity based scheduling tools with the resource loading are used. In other networking system, assessment and resources is inaccurate for activity, and in ProPlan, assessment of resources is accurate for estimated quantity. In other networking system, creation of resources gang is not possible. In ProPlan, creation of resource and gang is possible. In other networking system, assessment of percentage progress is inaccurate due to activity level monitoring. In ProPlan, assessment of percentage progress is accurate due to quantity level monitoring. In other networking system, roll-up percentage progress of various functions and overall is not possible. As a result, percentage progress is calculated in Excel. In ProPlan, rolling of percentage progress as a unit as well as overall level is possible, need not to switch over to Excel. In other networking system, calculation of work front, particularly for construction work, is not possible. And the ProPlan calculation of work front is possible with respect to drawing, material, and access. In other networking system, work front forecast is not possible. In ProPlan, work front forecast can be made for advanced resource planning. In other networking system, interaction with the auto spooling software is not possible. In ProPlan, integration for auto spooling is possible. Progress calculation reporting of a piping work is exceptionally accurate. In other networking system, look ahead schedule is inaccurate due to monitoring at activity level only. In ProPlan, look ahead schedule is accurate due to monitoring quantity against the activity. In other networking system, look ahead forecast for various scenarios is not possible. In ProPlan, look ahead forecast for various scenarios is simple using curve. In other networking system, window analysis is not up to the mark due to activity level monitoring, and in ProPlan, window analysis is accurate due to great extent due to quantity level monitoring. In other networking system, not easily customizable. ProPlan is easily customized without taking much time. And in other networking systems, not user friendly, lots of roamings are there. In ProPlan, user-friendly and roaming is avoided. In other networking system, cost of software and AMC is too high. ProPlan cost of software is and AMC is affordable and standard. So some reports which we have seen in during the webinar, these are the reports: estimated resource report, then daily, weekly, monthly required and deployed report, which is available in Excel, then ASCO report, plan comparison report, activity reports, Gantt chart reports for overall projects. So these reports which we have seen. I thank to all attendees for attending this ParSCAD product introduction webinar and hope that you all have found the product useful to implement on project. Please visit to our website www.parascad.com for more details on the product as well as other products offering by Parascad. You may also visit to our YouTube channel to know more about the product features. That is for today. Wish you all good day ahead. Thank you.